Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Wednesday's edition of Weather Where You Are. We're going to get a little nerdy this week. I'm meteorologist Ella Dorsey. This is a segment we're going to do a few times a week, every week, where we talk about what's going on. I get a little bit more intricate into the forecast than what just the basics you're going to get on TV. And today I want to explain both the ozone, because this is like the third or fourth time in the last several days that we've been under an air quality alert, and also the thunderstorm cap, or what prevents storms from forming on days like today when it's so hot. Both of them have to do with the heat in the atmosphere, okay? So a little nerdy for you, but I'm excited about it. I'm excited to tell you guys this. So, okay, let's talk about it. The heat today, it's really hot. Here are your high temperatures. We're talking mid-90s today, guys, and there is an air quality alert out again for Metro Atlanta. This is due to the high pollutants in the air. It's a code orange for people with asthma. I'm showing you a live picture over downtown. You can't really see the haze. You certainly can't see the smoke that we saw last week with the Canadian wildfires that caused the ozone, or caused the air quality alert. This is due to ozone, which is a pollutant that gets trapped in the air when it's really hot. This has everything to do with the upper levels of the atmosphere. So here's an explanation of ozone. Under normal conditions, the surface temperature, like the temp outside right now near the ground, is the hottest. And then as you go up in the atmosphere, it gets colder and colder and colder. That is what normally happens. However, sometimes, especially in the summer, the entire atmosphere can be really warm. When that happens, it causes an inversion layer. Basically, the air sinks at high levels. And when the air sinks, you get that ozone in cities that gets trapped near the surface. That's what's happening today. That's what happened yesterday. That's probably going to be the case over the next several days as we see this heat in place. We have high pressure in place. That means the entire atmosphere is pretty hot. I want to show it to you. This is just a website I use a lot. You can see Georgia on the right side of your screen. I'm going to show you different levels of the atmosphere. Okay, so here's the surface temperature. Okay, this is this afternoon. You can see how hot it is, right? But now let me show you at 5,000 feet up in the atmosphere. Okay, look at how hot it is. The temperatures are still like 22 degrees Celsius. That is really warm, okay? And then when we go up to 700 millibars, which is about 12,000 feet up in the atmosphere, okay? It's still pretty warm. Temperatures are still well above freezing. So the entire atmosphere is very warm. That's what causes the ozone, okay? In spring and winter, even sometimes in the summer months, when we have cooler levels at high levels in the atmosphere, that allows that ozone to escape. So we're not seeing that today. That's the reason for the air quality alert. In addition to that, okay, high pressure is in place. The same warm air at high levels in the atmosphere prevents storms from forming. It's called the cap. It's basically negative energy that caps thunderstorms. Think about it as a cap on top of a bottle, right? If you shake the bottle, you have all that energy, and you unscrew the cap, like with a full bottle of soda, it all escapes, right? That cap keeps all that energy from being able to escape, so we don't get storms forming, and that cap is caused by warm air at higher levels in the atmosphere. So what is the cap? Let's talk about it. Warm air, it's warm air aloft in the atmosphere, okay? On days normally, right, just like we just talked about, the temperatures are the warmest near the ground, and the cooler that it gets higher in the atmosphere, the more unstable the atmosphere will be. The higher, the more evaporation you will get, the faster the air will evaporate, and the faster that you'll get storms, okay? But when you have a cap, the warmer air aloft, it acts like a cap. It keeps the evaporation from happening. And that's what we are seeing today. So take a look at this. You're only going to see a few storms form today. The ones that are able to pop the cap off are probably going to be severe because there's a ton of heat to work with, right? It's a lot of energy. It's called CAPE, convective available potential energy. So any storms that do form are likely to be severe, strong to severe, very briefly. But then they rain themselves out, guys, very quickly. Look, then they're gone, okay? Few and far between. We're not going to see many storms today, but any storms that do form do have a heightened risk of being severe just because there is so much heat. So the storm risk today is low. The storm coverage will be low, but the severity will be elevated, okay? Because that cap is so high, we're not going to see widespread storms. On a day like today where it was this hot and the higher levels were cooler, happens a lot in areas like Texas and the Midwest. They get that cool air coming off the Rockies. They see extreme severe storms. That's where they get all that crazy hail and bad tornadoes. That's from the cooler levels at mid-levels in the atmosphere. It's hard for us to see that here in Georgia. And you can see it's not going to be really rainy at all over the next 5 days. That cap is strong, so we're not going to see many thunderstorms, only isolated thunderstorms through Friday. Saturday and Sunday, the high pressure starts to break down a little bit, which means the air will be a little bit cooler at mid-levels of the atmosphere, and we'll start to see evening thunderstorms Saturday and Sunday, but generally it's going to stay pretty dry over the next 7 days. It's also going to stay very hot, guys. We're looking at mid to upper 90s over the next 7 days. I think that this heat will extend till the end of next week. So what to expect? Air quality alerts a lot. Most days, probably we're going to see air quality alerts in Metro Atlanta as this heat continues, at least through the end of the week, possibly into next week. Thunderstorm activity will be minimal over the next several days as that high pressure is strong and it builds back in next week. So we're not going to see many storms over the next 7 days outside of the weekend where we'll see a few evening storms. This heat, it is going to be here until the end of next week. So a lot of kids headed back to school next week. Yeah, upper 90s are likely. All right. So that's an explanation of the cap. That's what I look into when I'm trying to figure out, are there going to be storms? What percentage storms coverage going to be? How severe the storm's going to be? I look at all of those types of deals in the atmosphere. I hope you guys enjoyed this. This is today's little nerdy version of Weather Where You Are. Hope you have a great day, and we will see you back here on Friday.